Luxury Staffing, the podcast by Morgan and Mallet, recruiting in Paris, Monaco, Brussels, and Geneva.
Hello there, podcast listeners. In today's episode on the Morgan and Mallet Luxury Household Staffing podcast, we're going to be talking with co-founder Laurine Mallet, and we're going to be discussing Paris, Monaco, Brussels, and Geneva. We're going to be looking at the legal employment structures, the cultural aspects, how things differ from region to region. So it's a very, very valuable podcast if you are thinking about hiring in those areas. So let's jump straight into it. Welcome to your own podcast, Laurine. How are you doing today? All good?
Yes, really good. Thank you. And what about you?
Super. So before we jump into it, could you just give us a brief introduction and you as the co-founder of Morgan and Mallet? Could you just tell us how long you've been doing this, why you got started? That'd be super.
Yes, yeah, sure. So actually I worked as a nanny for years in London. And at this stage, I discovered and I met agencies, household staff agencies. I was a friend with Morgan Riches, who worked also for individuals. And we wanted absolutely to create an agency, French agency, but international in order to have candidates and clients in the wide world. So now we we own Morgan Mallet for 12 years, and so I'm co-founder and CEO of the company, Morgan and Mallet.
Super. You said a French company, and you've mentioned this before. Could you just explain what that means to you, like the cultural values, I guess, right?
Yes, sure. So actually, high standard and manners, and also so the education and services are really well known in France. And with Morgan, we really wanted to bring our values in this industry, our like we can say, our French touch, and our own experiences. But experiences we lived as a French candidate previously.
Yeah.
So that's why it was really important for us to bring these values to the company, to the also to the image of the company and all our teams. So thanks to our experiences, background, and our French mindset and mentality, we wanted to create this agency.
Awesome. Yeah, we've spoken before about your experiences as a candidate, the good and the bad. And I think that was as well one of the inspirations for starting the agency. So for the listeners, if you are interested in that, I think it's in another episode that'll probably be coming out soon, just about how Laurine got started and the jobs she was doing and the agencies she was working for. It's really, really interesting. So let's jump into today's into today's podcast. We're going to be covering Paris, Monaco, Brussels, and Geneva. And Laurine, how does the recruitment process differ across those 4 cities or regions?
Each city actually operates at a different pace and different priorities. So Paris tends to favor formal credentials and long-standing agency relationships. Brussels is quite different because it's shaped by its international institutions, values, and adaptability also. Geneva, moves with Swiss precision. It's really different, discretion, reliability. And Monaco is perhaps the most exclusive. The network is tight. Also, we have a lot of clients in Monaco. The ultra networks are mostly in Monaco. And Monaco referrals carry enormous weight and speed, often matters as much as profile quality, I would say.
Interesting. You said Monaco is a really tight network. Was it difficult to get started in Monaco?
Actually, so you mean as a candidate or as an agency?
As an agency?
Yes, actually, the law in Monaco is really tight also because in order to have own agency in Monaco, you need to have a specific license. You have obligations to follow in order to apply and be able to work as an agency. It's not as easy as in France, let's say.
Interesting. And you said in Brussels, there is a lot of international institutions. Are we talking like the European Parliament and all of
Exactly.
these? Yeah.
Exactly. Indeed.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. Now, what cultural or legal aspects make each location unique for employers? You did go into a bit of detail for like Monaco. What about the other regions?
So you want to talk about France first?
Yeah. Let's talk
Okay.
about like the cultural, legal aspects.
Yes. So in France, the labor law is heavily protective of employees. Okay, making contracts and termination procedures very complex. Each countries are really different, even if it's Europe. Belgium has a dual legal system with a lot of administrative layers. Sorry. Switzerland, it's also very different because it operates under cantonal rules. Okay, like in the UK, depending on borough, for instance. So that's very by region.
Right.
And Geneva is particular as strict work permit requirement for non-European nationals.
Wow. Okay. This sounds really complex. This dual legal system in Belgium. Well, can you explain that, please?
So actually, depending on your canton, on your region, you have different kind of labor law. For instance, how many hours you are going to work as an employee is different. The minimum salary also is different. For example, if you would like to apply for a job, maybe you can have like additional document to give depending on the region.
Right.
There are many topics like that. And Monaco, so not in the Europe, has its own employment code, closely aligned with French law, but with added residency constraints.
Right. So that was Switzerland with the cantons, right? And each canton with its own set of like minimum wage and legal requirements. Okay, so it's a bit like in the States, which each state has its own legal rules, right?
Yes.
Gotcha.
It looks like a little bit like a United States, because in United States is definitely like that. Every state got its own law.
Yeah.
For everything. But in Switzerland, it's a little bit the same.
Gotcha. And in Belgium, you mentioned it's a dual legal system. Is that right?
So again, sorry?
In Brussels, sorry, you mentioned it was a dual.
Yes, dual legal system, yes.
What is that? Could you explain it?
Yes, so it's by its linguistic communities.
Right.
So actually, because there are a lot of foreigners and international clients, above all, we are going to talk about clients in Belgium. The system is shaped by its linguistic communities.
Interesting. Okay. And just to switch now, regarding the candidates in Belgium, are they locals, or are they like from Southern Europe or from other regions? What's usually the case there? Let's say for housekeepers.
Most of the candidates are local.
Really? Interesting.
Yes, most of them.
Okay.
Much more than in France, let's say.
Yeah.
But it depends. It's normal. It's a kind of culture and also opportunities.
Right.
So, yes, there are more locals.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay. Moving on to the next one, to number three, question number three. How do candidate expectations vary between France, Belgium, Monaco, and Switzerland? I guess we can start off with wage expectations.
Wage expectations, so salaries?
Yeah.
Okay, in between France, Belgium, Monaco, and Switzerland.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So, first of all, in Monaco, salaries are higher.
Mm-hmm.
Often the demand from the client is also very high. So they expect candidate very qualified. And that's why actually the salary usually is high.
Mm-hmm.
In Switzerland, it depends if, for example, the job is close to France or not. Because, for example, if we have an opportunity, let's say in Geneva, some candidates from France can live in France and work in Switzerland.
Right.
So it's really interesting having a Swiss salary with French conditions.
Right.
And French, I mean a lifestyle.
Yeah.
But on the other side, if it's all Switzerland, salaries are higher compared to France, but also the cost of life is completely different. So in order to compare, we need to think also to index also every cost. It's like in Belgium. In Belgium, salaries are higher compared to France.
I see. But you've got to take the full picture of the living costs and everything like
exactly.
that.
But you can't really compare saying, for instance, Monaco is much better compared to Switzerland or Belgium is better compared to France. No, it depends on the conditions. Because in France, actually, when we've got a contract, that's why we are really lucky to have that in France, but we've got the security, health security. You've got a lot of conditions and possibility when you've got a contract. And there is, as I said, a protective law also for employees, which is really great.
Mm.
On the other side, the salary is a bit lower.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say you are going to work in Switzerland or in Belgium, you've got less advantages. So the salary is higher also.
I see.
But the cost of life is higher in Switzerland compared to France also.
Gotcha. So you said it's really interesting, the French candidates who are living near the border and they can work because they get all the protection from the French legal system, but they also get a taste of the Swiss wage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. And so in these cases, even though the employee is working and commuting every day to Switzerland, they still have a French contract and legal conditions. Is that right?
So it's not a French contract, just a Switzerland contract, but they live in France. So with the cost from France. So for example, to rent an apartment, to rent a car or whatever, it costs.
Okay.
I mean, the costs are from France, French costs, while they are working in Switzerland with a Swiss salary.
Right. I see. Okay. Now I understand. Okay. Gotcha. Interesting. So I guess there is a lot more demand for those positions. Is that right? From candidates?
Yeah.
And is it easier to recruit for those positions, I guess?
Recruitment is not easy anyway. So obviously that's a challenge and that's why we exist. But yes, there are candidates, really good and qualified candidates, definitely. At the border, in between France and Switzerland, yes, definitely. That's why we place a lot of candidates in Switzerland, nearby France, in all Switzerland, but Switzerland nearby France, we do place a lot of candidates because they are really good, qualified, experienced candidate in this area.
Super. And do taxation and legal employment structures influence the hiring decisions in those cities? We kind of touched on that before, just now, actually. But do you see it in other regions?
Taxation, you mean like for the incomes?
For the salaries.
I mean, the incomes depend on your salary. So if you have like a very high salary, perhaps you are going to think twice about where you are going to work. But this, because let's say in France, it depends on your range. So for the candidate, I don't think they focus on the taxation. I'm not sure. Perhaps much more candidates such as house manager, personal assistant, who got very higher salary compared to the rest of of the roles, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, no.
I see. And and for the clients, will they be considering the taxation and the employment structures when they're considering hiring in these regions?
I don't know because I can't tell for the client, to be honest. But I mean, obviously, as we know, taxation are, for example, very high in France. So we've got the difference in between having a company and being an individual. But as an individual, in France, the taxation are high. Belgium are lower, are still high, but lower compared to France. Switzerland also, let's say. So perhaps an individual is going to think twice about the location where he's going to employ his employee. But it doesn't really matter because, for instance, if you do have a property, let's say, in Paris, the contract of the employee will be French because it depends on the location.
Yeah.
If you are going to employ someone in Switzerland, the contract is from Switzerland. So it's a Switzerland contract.
Absolutely.
And after the taxation for the individual, it's another topic.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the same. Well, I was just thinking about the question afterwards. I was thinking like it doesn't really matter that much because if you've got your house, your property in a location, you're staying there. You're not going to move it because of you're not going to move it because of the tax of a housekeeper, for example.
Yes, exactly. About the tax, actually, what is really really important, I mean, for the client, it's much more about the salary. Because let's say in France, you've got a gross annual salary plus every fees and cost you can have in addition to this salary. The health and insurance, some contribution and social contribution. And in France, it's really high. So obviously, I guess some clients would prefer to employ people, let's say, in Switzerland or in Belgium more than in France. Because in France, if you have, for instance, let's say, a nanny, you employ a nanny and I can say like that, salary 3,000, yes, gross, okay, per month. It's going to cost nearly 6,000 to the individual. In between, it depends, but it's between 5,500 and 6.
Wow! Oh my God!
Compared to the UK, that's very different. But compared to Switzerland, also that's different. Compared to Belgium, so obviously, I guess our clients are going to think twice about employing people depending on all these taxes on the employee salary.
Absolutely, yeah. You just reminded me. I've got a French friend, and she said, like, "Oh, I've been working here for a year now, or for 2 years. I can't remember the time, but she says they can't fire me. It's impossible for them to fire me now." That's what she said.
You mean in France?
Yeah, because she'd been working there for a long time, and she says it's impossible for them to fire me now.
The law is really protective for employees, which is it's my opinion. So it's not really important. I mean, but I think that's good in some way.
Absolutely.
But obviously, yes, employer contributions in France are very, very high, and I guess our client are thinking twice maybe They could, for example, employ, let's say, 3 staff in their property, okay?
Mm-hmm.
For example, Saint-Tropez. And because the employer contributions are really high, maybe they're going to say, okay, let's start with 2 first. We will see. While in the UK or in Switzerland also, maybe they don't think twice. They say, okay, we need 3 people. We are going to employ 3 people.
Interesting. I see. So there's probably more caution when it comes to employing a French person, employing with a French contract.
Yes.
Interesting.
And that's why also we have a lot of international client who call us for payroll in France.
Yes.
Because actually you've got the employer contributions plus the administrative part to manage, which is huge in France, very big.
Yeah, I remember you telling me a month or 2 ago about you were having dinner with some family friends and you were explaining like, oh, this principal would like us to do payroll for them, but we'd never done it. And then it was like a mentor or a friend's parent at the table said, you have to do this. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I guess it was a good decision. Looking back, it was good advice. It's popular.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Above all, the advice are personalized depending on the client situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we don't push them to take any decision. It just gives them the best advice. And after that's their own decision to listen to us or not.
Uh-huh. Gotcha. Okay. Now, moving on to the next topic. Is there any difference in demand for live in versus live out across the regions?
So in between live in and live out, depending on each country, you mean?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. The difference, you mean?
The difference in demand. Like, is there one more popular in Switzerland, for example?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In Switzerland and in Monaco, I would say live-in position are in high demand, but hard to fill due to the high cost of housing.
I see.
And employers often need to provide also accommodation as part of the package or offer a significant housing allowance.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's really important, the accommodation actually. If, for example, you would like to employ someone on the long term, that's obvious if you provide really good accommodation, the candidate will feel very comfortable and happy in his situation and will stay on the long term. While offering, let's say, a really tiny and small room, you can make sure the candidate is going to stay for months, but after months, she's going to be very tired and she's going to miss also privacy. So the candidate will probably leave. And it was my own also experience. I had this experience. I got an accommodation as a maternity nurse nanny, and it was not small, but big room. And I shared this room with a baby, with a little one I looked for. And it was very hard, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easy for me, I think so, because I was younger, I mean.
Yeah.
But today, for instance, I probably won't repeat this experience.
I see. So just to check I understood correctly, there's a lot of demand from the clients for live-in positions in Monaco and Switzerland.
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
But it's quite difficult to fill because it's rare that a principal has a large living space to offer because of the characteristics of Switzerland and Monaco.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. And then for Brussels.
But Brussels and Paris are the same actually. So live out arrangements are more common.
I see.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess
because it gives candidates actually greater independence.
Yeah, I think we spoke about this before as well, and because of that independence, and they've still got a high degree of personal life, they're more likely to stay there longer, right? Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, and again, that's my experience when I was nanny. But I was young, 20s. So actually, I was really happy to have a small room. I mean, giving candidates greater independence, which many now strongly prefer younger professionals.
I see. So you're saying like it's even harder now to offer a smaller room because of the demands and expectations from younger candidates.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. And then final question now. It's not the final question, actually. It's penultimate one. I just thought of another. But anyway, how would you sum up each city's recruitment personality?
How do you say again?
How would you describe the recruitment personality of each city we've talked about?
That's a good, interesting question. So Paris is prestigious, okay, but bureaucratic. We can say that in English. Elegant expectations. Une complex labour law.
I see. And is it faster moving as well?
Faster moving?
Yes. Like, do things happen a lot faster because it's a bigger city?
Yes, definitely. And everyone want to work in Paris.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. There are a lot of candidates, good candidates in Paris. In our portfolio database, we have a lot of really good candidates. Because Paris is very attractive also for candidates.
Absolutely.
When we have a live-in position, we have a lot of candidates from all France who want to apply.
Interesting. Okay.
While if we do have the same position, let's say, in Courchevel, that's not the same numbers of applicants.
Gotcha.
At all.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And sorry?
I guess it's down just to the location of, like, in Paris, you've got an endless list of things to do to spend your money at, whereas in the other areas, it's harder. You're not going to get the same standard of life, I guess.
Yes, definitely. And you've got the art, culture in Paris. Paris is a beautiful city, amazing city. No, honestly, amazing city, Paris. So actually, it's very attractive, and I completely understand when people want to work in the city. And for live-out position, we do have a lot of candidates who live in Paris and outside Paris, nearby, but outside Paris, a lot. Really good candidates in all those areas.
Super. And for Switzerland, how would you describe, like, the recruitment personality of that? Geneva, not Switzerland.
So actually, Brussels is a bit like France. I mean, a little bit like Paris for like melting pot of cultures.
Gotcha.
So that's a bit the same. But institutions also, as I said at the beginning. And it's more so international, obviously, and more pragmatic.
Pragmatic?
Yes. Easy to make business.
Interesting.
Easy for the candidate to make business, because the business is not only for companies, it's also for people who try to find the perfect job.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. And does Brussels have a large labor pool to draw from as well, like Paris?
As complex as Paris, as France?
No. Does it have a lot of candidates that are applying to jobs? You know, like you said, Paris has lots of decent quality candidates. Does Brussels have the same quantity?
No, I would say there are much more good candidates in Paris compared to Brussels.
Ah, interesting. Gotcha. Okay. And what about Monaco? How is the recruitment personality of Monaco?
Mm-hmm. Monaco, it's very exclusive, first of all, and fast-moving. The reputation is currency in Monaco, confidentiality, really important, and excellence is the baseline.
Right.
So that's the personality of Monaco.
Gotcha. Okay, understood. And what about Geneva in Switzerland? You kind of mentioned this before, like discretion, precision, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, Geneva is precise, understate, quality over everything.
Ah, interesting.
And with zero tolerance for shortcuts.
Wow, interesting. Oh, wow, very good. Okay, now final question: are you seeing any trends in those regions we've been talking about? Any trends with regards to a certain type of a certain position you're seeing increasing demand, or certain conditions you're seeing more of? Have you seen anything like that? Any trends?
So in between Paris, in between France, Switzerland, Belgium, and Monaco.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, in those four countries, above all, there are a lot of requests for housekeepers. First of all, which is a big request. We do place a lot of domestic couple, guardian couple in France, a lot, because actually, so all our clients got a second residency, and that's obvious. They got a second residency in France, as everyone knows. France is beautiful. There are a lot of region amazing, so they've got a second residency in south of France, and perhaps later on in Normandy or Courchevel, let's say. Because they need to have people who can maintain and take care of their second residency all year long while the clients are away, they need domestic couple.
I see.
So that's the most queries, most requests from the client. And also, so as I said, housekeepers, nanny. Above all. For Monaco, it will be personal assistant. After housekeepers, it will be personal assistant, definitely. In Switzerland, housekeepers also, and then nannies, yes.
Gotcha. Okay, so
And in
Belgium.
sorry?
No, sorry. I was just going to summarize, but we've still got Belgium to cover.
And yes, and Belgium. So first of all, housekeepers, because it's the first needs of the high net worth and ultra high net worth, and then domestic couple also. Yes, domestic couple.
Gotcha. Okay. Have you seen any changes over the years since you started in like the demand, or is it usually those positions you mentioned that are the most popular for each region?
In France, it has been yes, housekeepers and domestic couple. I would say perhaps for Monaco and Switzerland, it was a bit different. For example, Switzerland, we used to have much more requests for cook chef.
All right.
So when you employ a cook chef, it means this is your own and main residency, obviously. And I guess perhaps most of the clients don't live anymore in Switzerland. Maybe they moved.
Interesting. Okay, I see.
And in Monaco, it was we had also much more chauffeur request.
I see, and that's reduced as well. And since you
No,
started,
it has changed. It has not been reduced, but it has changed. Now we've got much more personal assistant request.
I see. Okay, so that used to be quite a popular demand in Monaco was chauffeur, and that stayed the same. But housekeeper, personal assistant has overtaken that
Mm,
position now in
mm,
demand. Oh,
mm.
that's interesting.
Because all our requests, I mean, our requests in Morgan Mallet are completely are higher and increase every year.
Gotcha.
But we can analyze the difference and the numbers of every request. So as I said, in Monaco, now it's much more personal assistant, but it doesn't mean we have less chauffeur requests. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. That's interesting. Okay. Do you have any? Is there any question I should have asked you, Laurine, that I didn't?
About those 4 countries?
Yes, about those regions. Yeah.
In my opinion, what is really interesting also is to understand the culture of the clients.
Yes. Tell me.
So that's a social effect, okay? So in Monaco, there are a lot of foreigners, clients, different culture, so multicultural. So, for example, when you place candidate, you need to have candidate really open-minded also and much more flexible because it's not easy to adapt yourself to a new culture. Even if you don't need to believe in this culture, for instance, you are going to work in the client's property, so you need to adapt yourself. So yes, for Monaco, on the other side, the mindset of client, sorry. So in Switzerland, people sometimes can be a bit more demanding with candidates.
Okay.
So you need to understand, you need flexibility, and also you need to follow the rules, obviously. And as soon as you follow the rules, you respect the rules, everything is great.
Okay.
And in France also, so that's not about culture, but much more about mindset. So as I said, it's not because you are going to got a job with a lower salary compared to other country, it means you are less valuable. Most important is the value of your background and the experiences in your life. And this is going to, it's brilliant, I mean, for your professional and personal life, obviously. So, yes, that's it. It's just a culture and mindset.
Interesting. And you said about Monaco, this is the last question now, I promise. But you said there's a lot of international clients there. I guess there is a lot more demand for language skills as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
Above all, the first request is every time bilingual French-English.
Right.
Okay?
Gotcha.
If it's in Switzerland, in France, in Belgium, or in Monaco. First French, and second, you need to speak English. But in Monaco, yes, 50% of our requests are coming from leads who need bilingual, so English speaker. But let's say, for example, in Switzerland, depending on your canton, on your region, client can ask for an Italian speaker.
Of course. Yeah,
For instance, we do have in Payroll a client for who we employed a candidate who speak English and Italian.
Gotcha.
And it's in south of France, nearby Italy.
Okay. And they didn't need French?
So the client didn't expect the candidate to speak French, but us, yes, obviously, because that's the position is based in France. Obviously, you need to, because if there is any situation, any emergency, you need to be able to control the situation, and so to speak French, obviously. But the client, it was not his request. No.
Interesting. So the client asked for Italian and English, and you were like, okay, but we need to add French onto this.
Exactly.
And you placed somebody with French, English, and Italian.
Yeah, the candidate is going to start next week, yes.
Super. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. So I think that's everything for this episode. Thank you very much, Laurine. You've been an absolute superstar. And for the listeners, if you go to householdstaff.agency, and there you'll be able to get in contact with a recruiter. If you fill out the form, send an email or just pick up the phone, whichever you fancy. We'll usually get back to you within 24 hours, and we can help you we can help you guide, we can help you hire somebody and guide you through it. Even if you're unsure about the position, about the expectations, about the salary, the legal, just give Morgan & Mallet a call and they will be able to guide you through it. And for the listeners as well, you can find this podcast on iTunes, on Spotify, and pretty much all the major platforms. So if you hit subscribe, you'll be updated every week. So thank you very much for listening. And thanks again, Laurine. You've been an absolute star.
Thank you.
All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.